My name is Joe, and I'm introducing a brand new show.
Hey guys, welcome to a rainy, cold Sunday in Albuquerque. How you doing? Today I have a little blast from the past. I was thinking about 2016, what a great year it was on this YouTube channel, because my content basically got a direction and started growing. I put out 3 or 4 different series of videos. We have the typewriter video series up to 51 episodes. We have Confessions of an Office Supply Junkie. We have the Abacus series, and I probably forgot something else. Anyways, I've had a really productive 2016. It's been a lot of fun. It's been great being in communication with a lot of you guys, watchers of mine, and I appreciate you watching this channel. I was thinking, and I've been thinking about this for a while, about YouTube in general. It's only been around since about 2005, if my dates are correct, so that's about 12 years maybe, hardly, 11 years perhaps. And I was remembering that, so I am a little bit of a latecomer to YouTube. I've only gotten really busy at it this last year, 2016, but I remember all the way back in the very early 1990s, I was making videos, all kinds of different videos, and a lot of people were making videos back then on analog video camcorders. We were using VCRs, Super VHS editing VCRs, many of us. Some of us were using the video toaster with the Commodore Amigas or other kinds of early computer platforms for video editing. But this is back in the analog era. Mini DV tape was just coming out also. I was shooting high 8. But that was the analog era of home video. That was when really the video revolution started, but it was way before YouTube. And really the technology was pretty easy to use. The editing was a little bit crude, limiting really, but what was really limiting was the fact that we didn't have the distribution methods that we have now. We didn't have the YouTube where you could upload something and the world could see it. And really, so the distribution part of home video making is kind of what changed with YouTube. But as I was going through some of these thoughts of mine, I remembered I had a plastic bin in storage out in my garage full of old tapes. And this morning I went out to the garage, unearthed some of those tapes, and I broke out my JVC HRS 9800U Super VHS editing VCR. I bought this in 2002. It was one of the last consumer-grade Super VHS editing VCRs made by JVC, and still was like new. So I broke it out, and I borrowed an old little flat-screen TV, and I hooked everything up, and I just shot some screen captures right off the screen of the TV of some of these early clips. So I had started a little series that I called The Joe Show. And it was a goofy little thing of just sitting in my living room with the camcorder sitting on a tripod next to the TV. The video was plugged in through my VCR to the TV screen, so I had a big monitor. I could see myself. I had a handheld microphone, and I sat in front of the camera on my couch, and I just did an ad-libbed kind of a talk show. And then my friend Bob came over one night, and we did the same thing, but what we did was called The Bob Show. So I have some clips from one of these episodes that was one of the more memorable episodes of that. So let's take a look at that. This is The Bob Show from 1991.
This evening we bring you another issue of The Bob Show. Here he is, Bob.
We're talking with Joe Van Cleve on the new drink that is that we all have known and loved for several years now. In the past year, it's just reached quite a climactic level of popularity. Joe Van Cleve is the innovator. I guess you could call it the innovator of the.
I'm glad you asked that, Bob. The name process was evolutionary. Now this dates back to at least 100 years ago, actually more like 130 years. Into the 19th century, the settlers that moved west toward Oregon, the Oregon Trail, they rode in a special type of wagon called a Conestoga wagon.
Okay.
And a Conestoga was very famous. It was like the Model T of that era. And there was a soft drink of sorts that had been invented by an anonymous person, but it was popularized amongst the wagon trains. It was a common drink that was made.
The anonymous person being, that is, was this somebody in your family, anonymous? That
well, we do have a one of our family members that we're not too proud of in a lot of ways. Did come up with an innovative drink which we believe to have been the forerunner of the Conestoga, the initial drink that was popularized throughout that whole era.
Well, wine connoisseurs call it bouquet. What gives it its unique bouquet and effervescence?
The uniqueness of its effervescence is in the manufacturing process itself. The basics we do know. We do know that it involved, fundamentally, the butchering of large farm animals such as hogs and sows, and even small cows.
That's incredible.
And it involved using the bottom buckboard portion of the wagon.
Oh, I see.
And I think there was a lot of other ingredients that were added. Depends upon what they were carrying: coffee grounds, tobacco droppings, or whatever.
This is probably then what gave it its unique effervescent and bouquet that it has.
Well, there was one thing else I didn't mention, and that is that after this concoction had been mixed up, it was put into glass jars to ferment. But before the top was sealed up, they would insert the last special ingredient, and this was a piece of clothing that was preferably a soiled undergarment.
Okay.
Now you can imagine if you had been on the trail for 6 months and not been near water all that time.
Or changed.
Yeah. That's right. You can imagine the delicate aroma that would ensue from your undergarments.
Absolutely. I can appreciate that very much, because not too long ago we went on a camping trip and we were in a similar situation.
Yes.
But you actually used soiled garments.
Yes.
Such as like your sock, perhaps?
Socks would be a good example, yes. You would have to roll them up carefully, and they would tie like a twine of some sort around it, because you didn't want to get it untangled into the drink, because that would change the chemical balance too much.
This almost reminds me of tie-dyeing, when we used to do in the 60s.
Yes. They would insert this in a container and then seal it up, and then the container would have to be kept out of the light for a period of several months. They would stash it back in the back of their wagon, cover it up with burlap or whatever, and it would remain there for the remainder of the journey.
So then the light has, that's the important thing, kind of, you want to keep it away from the light.
Yes, there are adverse photochemical results if you allow light to strike the bottle.
Totally safe drink here. We're talking a totally safe drink.
Yes. However, you did have to manufacture it under rather precise process. Otherwise, you could have problems if you went off into another tangent, so to speak, from the main process.
You know, in the history of mankind, I don't think they've quite ever come up with a drink quite like this before. We've had root beer, as you know, is taken actually from a root of a tree. Root of a tree, yeah. And this almost seems like, in its own way, that it's almost a spin-off of that. But it's an interesting. No, it seems like it's original, but it's interesting that you can use things around you to develop such a great drink, totally safe, and it tastes good, and it's good for you.
Yes.
It is nutritious then. This drink, we're not talking about some sugar at the bottom drink.
No, it actually has proteins. It picks up proteins from your undergarments.
This is good for digestion too, isn't it?
Yes.
This
very much
particular
so.
one, the effervescence. I mean, it's a fascinating drink. I think people know this by now. The color also is from the process, right?
Yes.
There's no artificial colors added in this?
No. The coloration occurs over a period of time as the ingredients ferment and their chemical nature changes. It adds a tone to the liquid.
That's interesting. I just had a drink before the interview started, as I mentioned earlier, and if none of you have tried this drink, it behooves you to try it. It certainly is an interesting drink. After the drink is manufactured, is it recommended that people leave it in the dark, like a dark refrigerator, shut the bulb off, make sure
Well,
it's closed?
I think what we've been able to do, we have some very good chemists in our lab, and they have come up with a stabilizing agent. And after the fermentation process has ensued and it's completed and it's ready to be packaged into the bottles, because these are in our manufacturing process, these are manufactured in large kegs, like wine is, for instance. And it's a specific kind of wood. We use balsa wood. Balsa wood kegs are the only kind you can use to give it the right flavor.
Oh, I see.
And after we fill our bottles up with, we add a tiny, minute drop of a stabilizing agent that will stabilize the process, and therefore it can sit on the grocer's shelf and not worry about light.
Yeah, kind of like a drop of urine or something too.
Well, we have experimented with uric acid, yes, from animals, animal research product.
Getting back though, just for a moment, I found the bottle to be very interesting, and this is something that this is a unique bottle, by the way, that you can find at your grocery shelves, I guess in the soft drink section.
That's correct.
Okay, but I found this very interesting about using soiled garments. There's obviously different strengths of the drink. You have your lighter drinks, then it goes all the way to your darker drinks.
Yes.
I've tried a couple myself, and I think the whole line of drinks are just fascinating.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, and now on the drink we just had tonight, do you use different soiled garments to this day?
Yes.
This gets pretty technical.
Yes, it does.
People
That's right.
don't really realize.
We have chemists that working in our department that have actually gone to college and gotten degrees.
Well, we got a tape that we're going to roll here. Maybe we actually took footage and cameras in the laboratory where the Van Cleve family has developed a drink, and they can show us. We'll roll that clip right now.
This is our main processing vessel, as we call it. It has insulation around it to protect it against temperature variations from the outside. Okay, this is a specific kind of wood pulp material, filtering material that is used in the manufacturing process. We actually use this in order to strain some of the debris off the surface as it's fermenting. Now, if you would wish, I will show you how we process our debris here.
That'd be quite interesting. Well, I'll be darned. That's it right there.
That's it right there. You can see it's fermenting right inside of there.
And this is the special. This is the one that you have a patent on that we've heard so much.
Now we have left out a few of the ingredients because of proprietary protectionism. We have competitors. We must admit. I will show you now. Demonstrate to you how this works.
And what are you doing? What is this now?
Okay, this is a pressure control valve.
Okay.
And this will control the pressure.
PCV.
Yes, it's a PCV valve. Controls the pressure of the liquid flow.
Kind of like what's in an automobile.
Very much so. Yes.
Be darned.
Here it goes.
This is now this is now processing this drink.
Yes, it is.
And now, in the other part of the building, which we won't have time to go to, this is what the drink goes into, and then it gets bottled and manufactured.
That's correct.
It goes into the dark room.
It's going down into the next room where it will be bottled.
Nice.
And we can go over there and show it to you.
Well, this would be interesting if we could see this.
So we will close this down, and now we will go to the next portion of our demonstration.
Okay, thanks.
You bet.
This is incredible.
Now this is where the fluids come out of our primary processing chamber. And as you can see, right after we've energized the device in the previous segment, it's now flowing out into this beaker. Now this is a test beaker, and this is used for testing the quality of the fluids.
The quality, this right here.
Yes, this is not the size that we would use in the primary processing for commercial use. This is what goes to the laboratory for chemical analysis for quality control.
This is amazing.
I will show you the end result after it comes out of the laboratory. It has gone into a sample bottle with a sample label.
There it is.
And of course it's been sampled, as you can see. It's been refrigerated. There is condensation on it. But
is this light in the room right now, is that going to hurt that? Or is it just...
No, because this has already had the stabilizer ingredient.
Okay.
And I will in fact demonstrate. Remember, this has just come out of that previous machine where the blue liquid swirled down through.
And now you're going to pour it there, and you're going to sample it for us.
I'm going to sample it for you. That's correct.
This is incredible. This is fantastic. And of course, your opinion.
Very good bouquet.
Would you mind if I tried that? This is
sure.
interesting. I'm impressed. Oh, that's fantastic. It's even better.
Yes.
Than I remember.
Yes.
Because
well,
it's right here, right fresh out of the your processing unit. And this is what's incredible, is that this ordinary stuff looks like ordinary kitchen equipment. But is there a reason why it looks like kitchen equipment? I mean, is it just because?
Well, one of our major goals is keeping the cost of this accessible to the general public, and in the process of doing that, we have found it necessary to use generic household equipment.
Yes.
And to keep our expenses low. And this has enabled us to lower the price of this bottle. And as you can see from the UPC code, it is very inexpensive. Viewers in the great state of California, you'll notice that this does have a California redemption value. Okay, in fact, you might want to go to macro and just pop into that. And
this is incredible. CA redemption value, and there it is, right next to the barcode.
Yes, it is. That's it. So this is validated proof that this product is marketable, and it's at your grocery shelf right now.
This is incredible. And Joe Van Cleve, it's thanks to you. Again, we really appreciate you showing us the way the drink is made. This is going to be quite the show. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, sir.
Joe, thanks very much for being on our show, and it's a pleasure. Maybe we'll have you on next time. That's going to do it for this edition of our show.
When I had purchased my first Super VHS editing VCR, it was a JVC that I got from Camera World of Oregon. And when I first acquired it, I wanted to learn how to do montage and editing. And so I I kind of just ad-libbed this fictional little spy movie. It's like a 5-minute little production I was doing just to get practice with the idea of montage and editing scenes and clips together. But one of the clips, or two of the clips, you might find very interesting. This again is from 1991, and I would call this my very first typewriter video. Watch this. Well, so that was a real blast from the past, huh? So I know the production values are really bad and the technical quality was bad, especially considering I wasn't using an analog capture card. I was just shooting the camera footage right off the screen of a low-resolution TV set. So you saw a lot of artifacting from that. But I hope you got the idea of some of the stuff we used to do back in the pre-YouTube days. This was 15 years before YouTube, these video clips you saw. So anyway, that's the predecessor of what this Joe Van Cleve's YouTube channel has become, the old Joe Show. Well, this was a blast from the past. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And until next time, you guys have a great day.
Howdy.